Patron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to Morning Watch with me, the Scruff, on the 26th of September. Is it a good day? Who knows? Well, I can't see the dials today because it's full of fog. And funny enough, the charts are pretty much full of fog today as well. They're very difficult to read. So what we're going to do in these little videos is we're going to look at the economic calendar, see if there's any potential spikes or turns in the market you need to be aware of. The times I talk about are UK times, so please be aware of that. And then we're going to have a look at the strength sheet that I make every morning for the Scruffy squad to see what the strongest and weakest are, to potentially give you a watch list for today. Now, these videos are done on a reward basis. We're looking for 100 likes for the video to become public tomorrow, but it will be available in the Scruffy squad if we don't hit the likes like it did yesterday. We didn't hit the targets on Friday, so it was only for the guys in the squad. So today, smash the like, hit the subscribe button if you want to see any further. We did take a vote on it. Some people just couldn't care less, and the rest of you wanted it today. So that's kind of the way we're going to do it. So let's flick this over and have a look, see what the news has to say for itself today. Well, through the night, there wasn't a great deal. Hasn't really affected the markets much at all. And as we come into the morning session, there's nothing. There's a little speech going on at 8 o'clock, but it'll be lost in the noise, and that'll be the noise of the open. Now, as we run through into the afternoon, again, it's all very low level noise today. There's no major spikes at 1:30. It'll just be tiny ripples in the pond up to around about 3 o'clock. Now, at 3 o'clock, there is confidence. And that is for the US data as we swing into this. And it's the only time you really want to be paying attention to the charts. So if you're in any of the US indices, the Dow, the S&P 500, NASDAQ, etc., be very cautious around the run up to 3 and certainly the half hour afterwards. And likewise for your US pairs. So if you're in sort of US CAD, that sort of thing, US JPY, be very aware. Let the dust settle for 30 minutes, and then it's business as normal, back to just a technical basis. So today, from a news point of view, is quite simple. You know, there's not a great deal from it. Now, the strengths, however, are a little odd. Because at the moment, we pulled out 3 of the majors, which is the US Swissy, Cable, and Eurodollar. Now, of them, they're very difficult to read. All of them are very difficult to read. The pound, for some reason, is losing a lot of ground. And it seems to be losing ground every day, which is odd. And it's making it very difficult to read. So if I can't read it, I stay away from it. It's that simple. Now, the biggest gainer was the Aussie, but it's still losing ground. And the biggest drop was the Euro. Now, that was yesterday. But if we look at this, the Euro has tremendously lost a lot of ground. It's lost 19 points from yesterday. Now, we're going to pull the Euro chart up in just a second because that's actually the one that's attracting me. There are different ways to read this. If you're looking at strongest versus the weakest, as long as the strongest is gaining ground and the weakest is losing ground, that's generally a direction. It can show the push. If it's changing somewhat, there can be a change of sentiment coming on the horizon. And that's what I see here. Because the Swiss is still really weak, but the US is not gaining anything. It's kind of static. It might be at the top of the tree, but it's not changing. There's been no change in position. Likewise with the pound, there's no change in position. Now, if it's not changing position, there could be a change on the horizon. In other words, the US might lose its crown and this might start gaining. And that's why they're stalling. So it's very difficult. So what I'm going to be looking at today is the best of a bad bunch. Now, I could look at the US Swissy, but I've got a feeling that that might stall and it be a watch list for tomorrow. I'm going to be looking at euro dollar today, and I'm going to show you as to why I'm looking at euro dollar. If I just flick this on, I'm looking at it because of a significant drop, which is here. Now, if I was to push this out to the hourly chart, and I'll redraw these fibs in for you, we'll start seeing things. This is the last drop here. Now, prior to that, it had a serious drop, a compression, and then it's dropped again, and it's moving. Now, if it gets through, it's a long time since it's been here, as you can see. In fact, I've got to go back quite a ways. Right the way back into here. You know, that's a long, long way to get to. So what I'm going to be doing is looking to see what's going on. So if I drop this back to the hour and kind of explain somewhat, this drop is highlighting this drop. So if I put on an extension from there to there, sure enough, it's stalling at this point, and I can see that. Now the next major turning point is 161, which is here. So this arena is the battleground. Okay, so if that's the battleground, what's happening with it? Well, if I start picking out where the move started, it came out the compression, it smashed through there, came back to this level, and then fell like a brick here. Right, what I'm looking at is this. I'm going to look at this as completely neutral in the way that I think. If it's coming up, it's coming back to this red line. Okay, so I need to see some form of sort of upward pressure, and it'll come to here. Now, if I'm looking to sell it, it's definitely coming here. So what I'll be looking for is the break of that point. Now, as I'm watching this, I'm more inclined to wait for the buy up. Okay, reason being, it's been so weak, there has to be some kind of retracement. So I'll be looking to see if I can buy back in this level to that level, but I'm not going to be greedy. I'm just going to get in and I'm going to get out. And it's that simple. And if I drop this onto 15 minutes, you'll start seeing it. Now, if this starts to run and it doesn't come back, I'm going to be prepared to sell this on the break of that into here, certainly into a 10 pip target. So I'm looking to sell it into about halfway of the range. Okay, so yeah, today's one of those days where the markets are so hard to read. One of my best bets might actually just be stay out the markets altogether. I don't like the markets today, and when I don't like them, I'm very wary of them. So my plan, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to see if it breaks, grab 10 pips and be happy. And that's it. But I'm going to look for a break either way. My preferred break is into this red line here. And then if it busts through the red line, we're looking up to the 50% retracement, which is here. So that's the way I'm going to look at it. That's my first point of call. And if I'm going to sell it, I'm going to be conservative with it. Even though it looks like it's a heavy sell, I'm still going to be conservative because it's had two major drops, compressions, but there's a lot of green starting to come in, which is showing me the buyers are hanging around. We're at the base of a compression, and if we're at the base of a compression, it'll go back to the top. So that's my preferred trade, and if that starts to fail, I may look to go the opposite way, because when I did the read of this, it could actually go either way. There's no telling signs one way or the other. So as always, guys, have yourselves a great day. Trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.